morning, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Gary Peart. I'm the CEO at Mayberry Investments Limited, and welcome to our In the Mix live investor briefing. Ladies and gentlemen, today we have some very special guests. Mr. Gordon Swaby, co-founder of Edjufocal, Grace Lindo, director of Edjufocal, as well as our very own executive chairman, Mr. Christopher Berry, and our vice executive chairman, Mr. Mark Berry of Mayberry Investments Limited, all of whom will be addressing you today on Edjufocal. I think in times like this, in terms of what we're facing with the pandemic, platforms such as Edjufocal really shines the brightest. It provides aid to students during school closure, providing a space that fosters active learning during a time of social distancing. This kind of platform is essential to the growth and development of our children and our communities. At Mayberry, we seek out opportunities and avenues to contribute to these communities, and in doing so, we have discovered a new way through our partnership with Edjufocal to continue to give back to those communities that birthed us. I want to thank everyone for tuning in today, and as we faithfully take a step further towards that bright future. Now, we will kickstart the discussions with Gordon, who will be sharing with you exactly what Edjufocal is about. Gordon?
Thanks for having me, Gary. So Edjufocal is an online social learning platform for students at the grades 4 to 6 level, preparing for their PEP exams. We use a concept called gamification to make learning fun. We've been doing that for over 8 years, and it's been an amazing journey. More than 70,000 students have been impacted by our work, and we're looking forward to a great partnership with Mayberry and extending opportunities to even more students in the short, medium, and long term.
Not many of our viewers understand what gamification is. So could you take a second or two just to explain what gamification is and how it enhances the experience?
Sure. So gamification is the use of game-like elements. Think about you playing a video game and you're earning points while playing this video game. You're taking that same concept and applying it to, in this case, learning. Students can go through specific or certain activities on the Edjufocal platform. They earn points, they level up, they are competing against each other on a leaderboard, and that really is, in a sense, gamification or some aspects of it. You also have other things like badges. So a child could complete a particular activity and earn a badge on the Edjufocal platform. We don't have that feature yet, but we will in the future. But just as an example.
Thank you. And before I go to the executive chairman of Mayberry, the final question in your opening, what inspires Edjufocal?
So the ability to create opportunities for students, to create opportunities within our communities, for the country, is really our greatest inspiration. At the end of the day, learning outcomes are important, and the best asset that a country can have is its human resources. And the people of our country need to be educated, and for us, the path to scaling learning is through utilizing the internet, utilizing technology, and that's what we've been doing for the last 8 years.
Thank you, Gordon. Mr. Berry, why is Mayberry making this investment?
So, Mayberry is a company that makes all of its money from investing in Jamaican companies. And one of the things that we like to focus on at Mayberry is investing in improving capacity. And if anyone has a child who is preparing for PEP, you know the drill. It's a lot of personal time helping the kids. It's a lot of extra lessons with private tutors. It's quite a big deal. It takes a lot of work. And Edjufocal helps a lot of people to make this a much easier journey. And also, based on the price point of Edjufocal, it probably helps a lot of people who don't have access to private tutors. So it's an investment in education, it's an investment in Jamaica, and it's an investment in a young entrepreneur. And that's really what we do, what we love to do, get in early and help companies to grow.
Thank you, Chris. Grace, why did EduFocal choose Mayberry?
Why did EduFocal choose Mayberry? Mayberry, as Mr. Berry said, has a really good track record in terms of investing in nascent companies, companies which are on the up, and I think in young investors, in young entrepreneurs too. And Gordon is someone who I have had the pleasure of working with as a member of his board for the last few years, and I think you will have a good time in terms of your association with him. And what I like about Gordon, about EduFocal too, is that they believe in the community and in not just making a profit, but in making sure that the community benefits from whatever endeavors they're involved in. And I think that's a very good mix for Mayberry. I think Mayberry has, it speaks for itself in terms of its work, in terms of investing in, up-and-coming companies, and it's a good choice. And I'm really happy that EduFocal has made this choice. Yeah.
Thank you, Grace. Gordon. A lot of the questions I've gotten since we have indicated this thing. Is EduFocal considering going public, and if so, what will be the timeline?
So, since I launched EduFocal, since my co-founder and I, Paul, launched EduFocal in 2012, we've always had big dreams. We've always had this idea of spreading opportunities to other people. And if you think about it, an IPO allows for possibly even students who've used EduFocal, parents who've used EduFocal to buy into our vision. So the short answer to your question is it is something we're interested in. In terms of the timeline, I obviously can't speak to that right now.
So what are your major milestones for the next 12 months?
So, we're interested in learning in all forms, corporate interested in. So that's something, that we're pursuing. And it's a space we're already in. But we're also interested in expanding from just PEP. Obviously, we're not a PEP platform. PEP is one of the exams that we facilitate, but we certainly want to facilitate other exam types in the near future. And of course, with the support of Mayberry, we know that it will be a possibility.
So one final question along that line. Does this platform have the ability to scale outside of Jamaica?
Absolutely. I mean, unlike brick and mortar businesses, EduFocal, one is we're very nimble, but two, as an intellectual property company, as an IP company, it's very easy for us to expand our territory into other countries. So that is absolutely going to be a possibility. And we are looking forward to expanding regionally and internationally over the next couple of years.
I see. So a lot of people are fearful of technology and change. How can this virtual platform assist teachers in the classroom, brick and mortar that we've been used to, going into a classroom with a teacher physically there? How does this platform, does it assist them? Does it aid them? Does it diminish them, which is some of the fears? Are we no longer going to need teachers?
Yeah. So the only thing constant in life is change, Gary. And if you look at what COVID has allowed, it has allowed us to be quick on our feet, and I'm speaking to us generally as a nation. So many things have happened in such a short period of time, things that we never thought were possible, right? I do think that the blended learning approach is the future. And what I mean by blended learning is this. It's taking the traditional brick and mortar and the online and mixing them together. So it is not going to be impossible for, say, in a year, for a child to maybe stay home 2 days out of the week and learn from home, and for the rest of the week, they're going to school. That I see that as something in our near future. We're actually doing the online version of it right now, just online. Brick and mortars, I think, they will be around, and there is a place for schools, for physical institutions. But I think that certainly a hybrid way of doing things is the future. And I mean, it affects the country in so many positive ways. If a parent will not need to leave their home, drive to school, cause traffic, he can do it from home. The child can stay home, and the learning is just as valuable, as if they were in the school themselves. So definitely, there's no need to be afraid. Teachers need to, I'd say, continue this process of learning and upskilling themselves, and everybody, all stakeholders, I believe, will benefit.
So will increase the quality of learning for our students, or will decrease it? I mean, will this platform be better than our great teachers of the past?
So you're asking a rhetorical question, Gary. At the end of the day, look, all we're doing is creating a platform for teachers, right? We're scaling their expertise, allowing them to reach more students, not just the 30 or 40 students that they have in their classroom, but giving them a platform, a much larger platform, to reach as many Jamaican students as possible, possibly even students in other countries. Right. That is how I see, and that is how I envision the future.
So as a capitalist, and I have a teacher friend, does that mean that if I am the best teacher on the platform, I will have larger audiences? Is it that these teachers will be able to charge for their services? Absolutely. That they can earn more on this platform than in the physical work?
In the last 3 months, we've engaged about 20 teachers, and we've spent millions of dollars with these teachers.
Whoa.
Yeah.
We made teachers millionaires.
Yeah, absolutely. Right? Well, I wouldn't say I've made them millionaires. We've spent millions. We didn't spend millions with one teacher.
As yet.
But certainly, we want to empower our best teachers. And
yes.
I think that EduFocal will be the platform for that possibility, allowing the best teachers to earn as much as possible. Money shouldn't be a problem for them.
No problem. So, final question. This comes from cyberspace. This question, I understand, is coming from a female engineer in Washington, D.C. And the question is, it is good that you're planning a virtual learning platform, but how will internet access and technology be provided to the underprivileged communities and students so that they too can have access to the platform?
That's a great question. Access to the internet is an ongoing issue. And I believe that the telecommunications companies of Jamaica have a responsibility to ensure that the digital divide is not extended, and that we facilitate as many students as possible. So looking forward to possibly having collaborations with the telecoms companies in the future to make learning possible for all students, and just generally ensuring that they have access to the internet so that they can be their best selves.
Thank you, Gordon. Last word, Mr. Christopher Berry. Where do you see the future of Edjufocal as we assume they achieve all these different possibilities? Where do you see Edjufocal going? And in closing, what's next for Mayberry on the horizon?
Yeah, so my dream for Edjufocal is that Edjufocal will be our first investment directly in education, which will grow to provide education not only to kids at the PEP level, but hopefully high school, and even have trade school spin-offs out of Edjufocal. So it can be a big platform to empower Jamaicans who want to skill up and wage up from the skill up, make more money so that they can have a better life. As far as the future is concerned, I think, we are always on the lookout for great investments. And I think one of the things people should get out of this Edjufocal thing is that a lot of people don't know we do private equity. We have a very active arm in private equity. So, for those entrepreneurs who are thinking of the pre-public stage, we are definitely a place to look. And our criteria is very simple. We're looking for great managers that have good ideas, not just copying what's out there already, that's creating new opportunities, that want to collaborate with the wider community and have a vision for growth. We're not really interested in investing in business that cannot make $1 million US in 5 years. So that's pretty much it. Thanks, Gary.
Thank you, Chris. And thank you all for being here. Ladies and gentlemen, I want to thank Gordon Swaby, again, CEO and co-founder of EduFocal, for the time he has given us this morning. Grace Lindo, Director at EduFocal, thank you. Conrad Mark Berry, our Executive Vice Chairman at Mayberry Investments. Christopher Berry, Executive Chairman of Mayberry Investments, for all your presentations today. I think you'll be fortunate that even in these turbulent times with the COVID-19 pandemic rocking the globe and global markets, that we always find ways to further build and contribute to the future of our communities. And I'm sure you'll all agree that there is no segment of communities that require or deserve more attention than our children. EduFocal can be a part of that. We hope that you all stay safe in these uncertain times. And thank you again for tuning in. And we wish the EduFocal family and the Mayberry family all the best for the future. And as always, we're looking for a bigger, brighter future for us all. Thank you. Good morning.